Hey, we're good? All right, I'm good. Too bad.
Okay. So with Chase, has he seen the doctor
No,
again yet?
not yet. He'll see the doctor later this afternoon, and then hopefully we'll go from there. It's exciting. It really is. Yeah, from the beginning of this week right up to where we are, Terry's just gotten stronger and stronger. His conditioning looks really good. I think the rapport that he and Sam have is real important to us. And it was unfortunate that he sprained his toe at the very end of basically his last couple of reps, unfortunately. But he's been back out practicing, getting his conditioning back, getting his timing back. So we're excited to have him ready to roll.
What convinced you? What day was it they convinced you that he was ready, that he was cutting the way he needed?
I want to say Monday. But at that point, it's really just about making sure his wind was there, his conditioning was there. But I got a chance to watch him work out with the training staff and the strength conditioning guys, and from my vantage point, I thought he looked really good. So I was really felt that he was going to be ready to roll.
The Cardinals, I guess, what do you know about them? What is your impression of the team that they have that you're going to face on Sunday?
I think they're a good young football team. They've got some quality young players in some key spots. I think they've got a good scheme offensively, defensively, and special teams. I think their coaches are guys that have been around success. I mean, Jonathan Gannon coming from Philadelphia, being around that group, and then coming here and bringing his defense, his style of defense. His defensive coordinator was his linebacker coach. Offensively, the coordinators coming from Minnesota through Cleveland to Arizona. So he's been with Coach Stefanski, and I got a lot of respect for the way Coach Stefanski does things and that running game that they have. So you see a lot of those things being emulated there. There is every now and then you see something that Philadelphia did on the offensive side, and then special teams. Coach Rogers is a guy that's been in this league a while, so they've got a good coaching staff, and as I said, they got a lot of good young, hungry players. On the defensive side, Buda Baker, I think, is one of the really good safeties in this league, and he's an emotional leader for their defense and for their team, for that matter. So, I think their quarterback situation, I like both their quarterbacks, even though one of them's just a rookie. I thought, we liked him and him coming out from Houston. He throws a nice football, and then Dobbs is a smart, athletic quarterback with a good arm, an NFL arm, and you saw that. We saw that in the preseason. So. We're not taking this team lightly. This team, they're paid like everybody else. They want to win. They're coming here to win. So we got to be on our game.
And as far as the return game goes, obviously you got a couple guys on the practice squad that could come up. Is it sort of one guy's experience and the other one you've seen more? And then also kick returner, is that Gibson or who? What is the?
Well, we'll see when we get there on Sunday. But Gibson and Pringle are the two kick returners right now. And we do have a choice to make on who's gonna be our punt returner.
Just with the expected sellout, when you first got here, I know it was the pandemic, but when fans started to come back and you saw that there weren't many that came back, was that sort of an adjustment for you as a coach, just to see a more empty stadium from what you were used to?
It was a little disheartening. I just remember playing here and feeling the energy, even though it was negative energy towards us, but the positive energy they created for the home team was tremendous. So that's what the excitement is about coming into this. I know, we have to feed off that energy, but we've got to be able to sustain that energy by playing well and playing hard and giving the fans something to cheer about.
If Chase can't play on Sunday, would that be disappointing considering, getting him back for the 3 games last year, going through what you did in camp?
Anytime any of our players, that we have slated as starters don't play is disappointing, because you want to see those guys out there. You want to see your best guys on the field doing their thing. I mean, Chase has worked very hard, gotten himself into great shape. Even during this whole process, he's done everything he's needed to do. I mean, the young man is, I think he's focused. And, I'm hoping for the best news today, because the young man is an impact player, and you want to see those guys on the field all the time. And so I'm hoping that he's out there.
And would there be any snap limit because he hasn't played, since that first preseason game, or how would you approach bringing him back?
Not necessarily, just because of all the conditioning he's been doing on the side. I mean, that's one thing that, I'm telling you, when he got up here and told you guys the other day he's doing everything he can, he is doing everything he can, and so hopefully with a good word, he'll be out there and ready to roll.
What do you think it does for the franchise to have alumni who haven't really been here to come back, like Riggins and Champ Bailey, just to see new ownership kind of making those?
It would
strides?
be great to see Riggo. I mean, he's one of the really truly iconic. It'd be great to have all the Hogs back. I mean, those are some very iconic players. These are guys that were here back in the heyday that made made the name for this organization. And if you look at it, that period from the 80s all the way to the early 90s, that was the peak of Washington football. And we would love to have that type of excitement and the type of environment around here, and it would be really cool to be able to see those guys, come by and just show the guys kind of what it means.
The fact that they're supposed to be there Sunday, does that, capture the excitement that's growing, that's building?
I think so. I really do. And, it's one of those things that the excitement will be, not just for us, but for our fans, for them to see these guys that made the impact.
Coach, with all the stuff going on and the changes, how can you kind of quantify like how different this year coaching this franchise has been compared to previous ones?
For me personally, my shoulders are a little higher. You really do feel like the weight's off. For the most part, the best thing about it is when I come into here and get a chance to talk to you guys, it's really been about football. I do get the occasional ownership question, but they're different questions, and so that's made things easier on me. I can tell you that. It's been really cool having the ownership around. I know the players really appreciate them coming in and spending time and just interacting with the guys. You guys saw the excitement from the other day when Magic and Mr. Harris were here. I thought that was really cool.
And then when you hear about like the players kind of responding, or you were there when the players were responding to what Magic was saying to them, and obviously you've been to the Super Bowl yourself. Like, does it help to have an owner now who also has lived kind of that greatness to reinforce those championship messages?
It does. And I say this too. Looking at who this ownership group is, it's a very successful group of men. Mr. Harris, Mr. Rails, Mr. Ein. These are all guys that have been successful in what they've done. Off the field as well, and then you add Magic on top of that, 5-time NBA champion as a player, 5-time champion as an owner, and then owning a baseball team that wins a World Series. It's just you pile that on, and there's a lot of great examples for our guys to feed off of.
When you have a week like this where unknown about the opponent, everybody thinks they're going to be really bad, and everybody's got these high expectations for you. How hard is it for you? What do you have to do as a coach to make sure that they don't get trapped by all that?
You just look at last night. That's it. Everybody expected it to go the other way. I know there were a lot of people hoping it would go the way it did, but the expectations are one thing, but what actually happens is another. And again, what you got to do too is you got to play sharp. You can't turn the ball over. Detroit did a couple of things that they had to do to give them the best chance to win. They ran a fake punt while they were backed up, and it even looked like Kansas City was playing for it too. The way it happened, they got a turnover at the right time and turned it into points. Those are things that can change a game, and so that's why you play them on Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night to find out who is going to win. That's why that phrase "on any given Sunday" is such a big deal, because it's true. At any point in time, anybody can win. All you have to do is just be the better team that day.
Take two more.
This may be a stupid question, but for stingers, is there a set protocol like there are with concussions that you guys have to go through?
Yes, and what happened on that obviously was it was self-reported, and once that happens, our medical team goes into action, and then we have to respond accordingly to what the protocol is.
Kind of a random one, but with quarterback sneaks, they work. They can work a high percentage of the time, but you're also exposing your quarterback a little bit. What do you think of the quarterback sneak philosophically?
I mean, it's an interesting, play, and there's a lot of concern about it, and not just the quarterback being exposed, but the men that are lining up across from each other are in very awkward positions sometimes too. So, there's a lot of things I know that the league is looking into. A lot of we had huge discussions with that in committee about it, and we're trying to study it. The medical people are trying to study it first and foremost to see if there is any concern for player health and safety.
Bad last one.
Just to clarify, if Chase gets a good news that he's cleared for contact, are you comfortable with him playing on Sunday?
If the doctor clears him, we have a decision to make. And, if everything points to it, yes.
Cool. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll have Shavita.
Is the one